I never thought baseball was an option. We didn't have high school baseball.
DJ went to one of the showcases in London, and we found out he could throw 87 mile an hour. And one of the best games that he played down there was against the Cleveland Indians.
Growing up, I never thought that this would even be an option. I never thought that I would be able to visit as many places that I have. And now I have friends from not only all over the country, but all over the world because of just playing baseball, and that still blows my mind. So in Canada, we spend a lot of time outside. I kind of lived in a country area growing up, so whether I was on a trampoline, out snowboarding, riding my bike, playing baseball, or playing hockey.
We always had him enrolled in something, whether it be swimming, obviously the baseball, the hockey.
Diving, track and field. He's always been doing something.
Something athletic.
Him and his sister. Snowboarding, he does that too. So
that's pretty much how I spent my days. I would be outside all the time, staying active, doing something. Started playing baseball when I was 7. I was mainly a hitter. I had zero control where the ball was going when I was growing up.
He made the world famous throw from third base to first base, which made the out, but the timing was perfect. The balloon throw that it was. Everybody was like, come on ball, come on ball, come on ball, got him! And that's really where it started, where we found out that at that age, he had a good arm.
Until I was 16, when I figured out that I threw a lot harder than everyone else, and I'm left-handed, so that helped. I was still primarily a hitter up until junior college, where they told me that I'm not a hitter anymore, that I'm only gonna pitch. I never thought baseball was an option. We didn't have high school baseball. I played for a couple travel teams. I just did it for fun mainly. I figured out that baseball was my best sport, and I wanted to try to find a way to pursue it.
He left here to go play in Toronto, Southern Ontario, in a place called Stratford, just outside of London, for a baseball academy called iCase. They came here and they were looking for recruits. They were getting this organization off the ground, and the gentleman, Tom Vault, who really loved DJ, loved the fact he was left-handed.
And he saw me throw, and he really opened my eyes to the idea that you actually have a future in this.
DJ went to one of the showcases in London, and we found out he could throw 87 mile an hour.
when DJ graduated high school, he was 17 years old. That September, he went down to Stratford, Ontario for a semester at the high school, because that's what iCase was attached to.
I went to a trip to Vancouver, BC with him, and then he said I have a spot on his team if I wanted to take another year of high school, which in Canada you can do, and go to the baseball academy and train for a year.
And he did a semester there at 17, like he just was turning 18. And that's where everything took off from there.
So from there, I started getting offers from junior colleges, a couple D1 schools, and then some NAIs and some D2s. But the one that really stuck out to me was Indian Hills. So then
I guess saw DJ, and he ended up going back to play for the Toronto Mets. From that, he got an invite by Doug Matheson, a former pro baseball player, to actually attend or to join with the Langley Blaze out of Vancouver. And we traveled to Arizona for the Cactus League, where DJ's Langley Blaze team was able to play some low A or high A affiliates. And one of the best games that he played down there was against the Cleveland Indians, their A team.
from there, Indian Hills saw me. They already knew of me, but they saw me pitch there.
And he had a terrific outing, 5 innings, 7 strikeouts. And when you see him, you see a 17-year-old lanky boy, 160, 50 pounds against men. You just, you're kind of floored that he was capable of doing what he did.
So then they offered me a spot on the team. I took it.
Yeah, the first year he struggled with the strike zone, I'll just say it.
But he worked out a lot and got a lot bigger and stronger. That, because there was nothing else to do there. So working out and training was key, and that made him stronger.
Literally from the dorm, it was the fields on one side of the dorm, the indoor facilities on the other side, the weight rooms right there attached to the weight facility. facility. So you're within 200-300 feet of your training facility. So they were there, those boys, after their classes, the Fascias and the Humanics and the Kings, the other Canadian players that were down there with him, those boys would immediately, right to the gym, start lifting, doing their weight program. So yeah, he went from 160 pound to 195 pound, very muscular man pretty quickly.
Which improved his baseball also.
Yeah, absolutely. So the second year, he became a starter. You could see that he had made a change. His command was there. Confidence was much better. He had done a really good job. He had prepared himself well for that second season.
It took a lot of convincing to get them to accept community college. My dad understood it a lot better than my mom did. It took a lot of convincing to tell her that from junior college you get your degree there, then you transfer to a 4-year, then you get a degree there.
Well, that was one of my biggest concerns because I work in education. So I know a lot of the American schools don't translate to Canadian degrees, like they're different. So I wanted to make sure whatever school he picked and whatever degree he got, it did translate equally to Canada. So when if he does come back to Canada, he has that under his belt to get a job.
That was the biggest thing, was finding a good school that my education would be recognized when I go back home to Canada, because it would be worthless to get a degree that wouldn't be recognized. So thankfully, Bradley is one of those schools that has very good academics and is able to be recognized all around the world.
Yeah, and that's what we found with Bradley. After the 2 years at Indian Hills, with Bradley, the education system was second to none. And that's really one of the reasons that we as parents loved it. I'm not sure if that was DJ's 100% decision, but we as parents definitely, we recognize how important that education was.
From the rest is history, I guess. I'm here. Living with David and Jed's it's an absolute blast.
DJ's a great guy. It was really awesome being able to live my first year here. Me, DJ, Fleta, and a soccer player named David. It's actually funny, I live with 3 Davids. David John DePiero, David Fleta, and David Schulte. DJ's a special guy, and I'm glad I had that opportunity to live with him.
He's another junior college player, junior college transfer, obviously. So we have that in common, and he's just someone that I've stayed close with through the years.
They are 2 of the most fun people I've ever met. We've had some great times. Whenever all 3 of us get together, it's always a good time.
No, it's amazing listening to people in Thunder Bay see how far DJ's gone, because you don't hear people in Thunder Bay going away for baseball, so it's always hockey.
We're a community recognized for per capita putting more players in the NHL than anywhere else in the world, for that matter. So to have an athlete come out of the city that's not a hockey player is strange.
So when he is home and he's out at the Diamond or stuff, the kids love being around him.
His former Little League, the Westport Little League, and then the traveling team, the Thunder Bay Lakers. When we go to their practices, they'll listen to DJ. He'll take them aside, and because he's been through it. I mean, he's been through slumps where he couldn't throw, and he's been through it. So he's got a lot to offer. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So much respect for what Coach D does, and Coach Warner as a pitcher. As a staff, DJ's told me how much all of the guys have enjoyed having Coach Warner in their corner and teaching them.
Growing up, I never thought that this would even be an option. I never thought that I would be able to visit as many places that I have. And now I have friends from not only all over the country, but all over the world because of just playing baseball. And that still blows my mind that it's actually possible that I've met so many awesome people throughout my time playing baseball.